Mr. Zarra, welcome back.
Hi, Your Honor.
After your last appearance in this courtroom, you confess you walked away devastated upon finding out you were not the biological father of the defendant's son.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now you say that experience has left you in doubt about whether you're the father of her 8-month-old daughter as well.
Yes.
Ms. Nadeau, you admit you had the shock of your life when the results were read and you learned Mr. Zarra's best friend was the father of your son.
Yes.
Now, according to Mr. Zarra, the man seated next to me could be your daughter's biological father.
According to him.
But once again, you claim there's no way that's true.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so additionally, Mr. Zarra has requested you take a lie detector test to determine how many other men are potential fathers, and we'll have those results shortly. Mr. Zarra, tell me about the doubts concerning Ms. Nadeau's daughter.
Well, one, she's like a whore, Your Honor, and...
Let's use respectful language. So you believe she's promiscuous?
Yes, and she sleeps with everybody I know, pretty much.
That's what you claim.
And so when you were in the courtroom for the last particular hearing, it was unfortunately revealed you were not the father.
Yes.
And please, expand upon why you believe those results have anything to do with Ms. Nadeau's daughter.
Because I think that Cameron and Ariella look alike. Both the babies look alike.
And they're both mine, so hence why they look alike.
Yeah, but that Cameron wasn't mine, so I really don't know whose it is. If it's not mine, it could be several people, so that's the main thing.
And you say it could be several people's?
Yes, to him, pretty much.
So you have a strong feeling it could be Mr. McCaffery's?
Yes.
Impossible.
So, Mr. McCaffery, were you intimate with Ms. Nadeau?
Yes, Your Honor.
You were?
Yes.
Without protection?
Yes.
This was before my 2-year-old was conceived, never mind my daughter.
And so your contention is you were intimate with him before the window of conception?
Yes.
And you were also intimate with Mr. Zarra at the same time?
No. When I got pregnant with Ariella, I was only sleeping with Mr. Zarra. Me and Mr. McCaffery stopped sleeping together years ago.
She was pretty much the community jump-off. She was sleeping with me, my boy, and him, but who knows if it was all at the same time? You know what I mean?
So, Mr. Zarra, do you believe that?
Yes.
So, Mr. Zarra, you say you brought a surprise witness.
Yes.
And he has proof that Mr. McCaffery and Ms. Nadeau were sleeping together.
Yes.
Jerome, please escort this witness in. I want to hear from him.
Hello, come on in. Have you go up here next to the plaintiff.
Hello, sir.
How you doing, Your Honor?
State your name for the court.
Marino Emerald.
Mr. Emerald, thank you for joining us today. We are here discussing the paternity of baby Ariella. And it's our understanding from testimony that Mr. Zarra believes Ms. Nadeau and Mr. McCaffery were sleeping together during the window of conception.
Yes, Your Honor.
What facts do you have or what knowledge do you have regarding this situation?
Well, Your Honor, first off, I seen the two individuals together when I was with one of Tom's ex-girlfriends. We ran into them two at a store. And I known Tyler for a while, Mr. McCarthy for a while. And I stopped to say what's up, and then Kayla ended up getting into an altercation with the...
And that's Ms. Nadeau?
Yes, with an individual that I was with. And we kept it moving from there, but I seen the two together, hanging together and everything.
So hold on, you seen us together, right? Did we have our clothes on?
Yeah.
Were we sleeping together right in front of your face? Did you see us have sexual intercourse?
Do I know you
so
have
your
sexual
testimony
intercourse?
is completely irrelevant.
I seen you together.
And so now,
irrelevant.
Since Ms. Nadeau is running the courtroom, you know, and actually, Ms. Nadeau, I'm not sure if there were eyewitnesses with the person you were sleeping with in the last case, when unfortunately,
no, but I never denied sleeping with either one of them in the last case.
You ended up in a situation where Mr. Zarra was not the father of the child.
I told you.
And look, Ms. Nadeau, let me really break this down for you, because unfortunately, that situation is what has led him to the doubt he's experiencing right now. And it's valid. And so although you may say no one saw you have sex, I'm sure in Mr. Zarra's mind, which this wasn't in your line of questioning, is why were you two hanging around together?
Because we were friends. I'm not allowed to be friends with somebody I previously slept with?
Well, you can. It's a possibility. But when you're a woman that walked into a courtroom just a few weeks ago and didn't know who your child's father was and it ended up being not the person you thought it was, then when you're hanging around with another person that you previously slept with, the man that believes he's the father of a certain baby may have a doubt about whether he is the father of that baby based upon the fact that the last time you were in court with him, he was not the father of the baby when the results were read. If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. I'd like to hear from you, sir. Please stand. Now, Mr. Santelli, you were here before.
Yes.
And you are the gentleman that ended up being her child's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you are best friends with Mr. Zarra.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, best friends. That's something.
Well, okay, hold on. Let me correct that. We're not as close as we used to be.
Okay, well, you're not as close as you used to be. So now, what do you have to add to this story?
All I have to say is that when I was with Kayla, the longest out of anybody. I was with her first. When me and her first initially split up, she had started talking to Tyler. They weren't together in a relationship. They were together as friends. They hung out together. They partied. They did what they did. They were friends with benefits, more or less.
That's Mr.
Yes,
McCafferey.
Mr. McCafferey, sitting right by your side.
So what do you know about this time?
I know a lot of people that hung around with them. They were all coming up to me, telling me that Tommy is out there with Kayla. At first, I was mad that he was with Kayla because, like I said, she was my girl.
But
and then people are telling me that she's now pregnant with Tommy's daughter, but she's doing the same thing to Tommy that she did to me.
Absolutely
that she was sleeping around with Tyler at the same time. There was actually two people, but the other guy is not here, so I'm not going to use his name. But there were two people that she was allegedly messing around with.
I would love to know who this other
So, Mr. McCafferey?
Yes, Your Honor.
You hear this testimony?
Yes.
You admit you were intimate with Ms. Nadeau?
Yes.
And what was the nature of the relationship at the time?
It was just friends with benefits. We'd hang out, party. That's about it.
No, sir, that's not
And so you
even.
had unprotected sex?
We had
more than one time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you remember when this was?
I don't remember the exact date it happened on, but I'm pretty sure
it started on his 18th birthday.
It did start on my 18th birthday.
Ma'am, if you don't let him testify for himself,
tell him to tell the truth then.
You over-talking him just makes you sound guilty. Do you remember when you were in a sexual relationship with Ms. Nadeau and the extent of time?
I don't remember the extent of time. It went over for a good amount of period of time. And I don't remember the last time we slept together, but I'm pretty sure there was snow on the ground.
Snow was on the ground?
Yes.
And you all are from?
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Yes, Your Honor.
Providence?
Yes.
Around that area? All right, so let's back up. Ms. Nadeau, your child's birthday is when?
December 9th.
December 9th, okay. We got December 9th. Let me open up my computer here and let's see what we can figure out. If I back here, the window of conception would have been around March 6th, March 8th, around that first week or so of March. Luckily, with the internet, we can check and see what the weather was around then. So let me see.
There's no snow on the ground in March in Rhode Island.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there is.
Definitely is.
Was it your testimony that there's no snow on the ground in March in Rhode Island? I'm reading what is called a storm summary. March 6th through 8th during that week, a significant snowstorm affected the region. The first round of the storm produced moderate snowfall, and then the second part overperformed with widespread.
That's a lot of snow.
The snow has nothing to do with it at the end of the day.
So, Mr. McCaffery.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you think you could be Ariella's
There's
father in your mind?
Absolutely not.
So what is this?
Just look at it. It's a picture of our eyes. Mine and the baby's eyes.
The looks really have nothing to do with it.
This is a picture
Nor does
of
the
your
snow on the
eyes
ground.
split with
Ariella's.
baby Ariella's. And you believe they're similar.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the two witnesses, thank you so much for your testimony. You may have a seat. Mr. Zarra, this was very interesting. You also petitioned the court for a lie detector test.
Yes.
Why?
She lies to me all the time, and I just want to find out truth.
He's a
about
liar
certain things.
too. They all lie.
You just lied
Really.
like 6 times.
At the end of the day, you all lie. You just do nothing but lie.
Your Honor, I also have this I'd like to show to you.
What is that? Jerome, is that your evidence?
Yes. It's a list of guys that she possibly could be the dad.
Oh my God, now
that
they know every guy in the world
I
I've
was
slept
told
with.
that she was sleeping with, but I
That
don't
they
have
were
any
told.
hard evidence.
They were told. It's all rumors.
But everything was a
lies,
rumor,
and
but he
based
just
off
sat there and said that he
drama
was having
that you
sex
guys
with you,
feed
so-
into. That's all it is.
So this is a list of 6 men,
Yeah.
6 names.
Yes.
You've been told that Miss Nadeau was also intimate with.
Yes, and I don't even think that's including Mr. McCaffery.
Do you have first-hand knowledge of
No.
any of this?
Not necessarily.
You got
but-
some videotapes,
Not,
some
no,
evidence,
not a videotape or
some-
anything like that, but just like this last situation that I had a
You
hunch
just
on.
got a
and
bunch of
obviously it
rumors,
was
a
true.
bunch of people telling you something that you just go on and believe.
And on top of that, when you know somebody like that, you can tell when they're lying. I
Yeah,
can just
okay.
tell.
I'd
She's
love to
always
know the
lying.
lie detector test results, so can we get through that one?
Let me break something down for you. Did you ever sleep with him?
Yes, I did.
Did you sleep with him?
Yes, I did.
Did you sleep with him?
Yes, I did.
Have you slept with her too?
Absolutely
Well,
not.
goodness gracious.
I went first.
So,
Okay.
I'm trying to break this down to you so you can understand it, because this anger you have, it's not productive. And it's not going to be
falls back on me.
exactly, which means you got to leave
But
these
I'm not
guys
the
alone.
only bad guy. They need to leave me alone.
I don't think
then.
you're a bad guy. I just think you're a girl that made some wrong choices,
think-
just like there are
I'm
guys
not the
that
one
made
who
wrong
calls
choices.
them up. I'm not the one who goes running to them. That's not how it works at home. I live this on a daily basis.
I remember from the last case you saying that at the end of the day, after I have dealings with all of these people, I'm here by myself having to raise these children.
Yes.
That I have no help.
Yes.
That's what I want you to understand, all right? So let's just move on.
it.
Mr. Zarra, you wanted results of the lie detector test.
Yes, Your Honor.
You believe she's not truthful.
Yes.
I have those results. Jerome? Before I get to these results, is there anything, Miss Nadeau, you believe I will find out? Were you
No.
truthful?
Yes.
Anything else for the record you feel like you may have left out of your testimony?
No.
No? Okay. Ms. Nadeau, you were asked, are there any other potential biological fathers of baby Ariella other than the 2 men who have been DNA tested for this case? That's Mr. Tom Zarra and Mr. Tyler McCaffery. You answered no. And the lie detector results revealed you were being truthful.
Thank you.
So now we're down to 2 men. Mr. McCaffery says he was in a sexual relationship with you. Mr. Zarra says he was as well. We have the DNA results. Jerome? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Zarra v. Nadeau, McCaffery, when it comes to 8-month-old Ariella Nadeau, as to whether Mr. Zarra or Mr. McCaffery is her biological father, it has been determined by this court that her father is Mr. Zarra.
You have a lot of apologizing to do. A lot. You want to tell everybody how sorry you are?
You didn't apologize to me, just saying.
I don't have an apology to owe to you.
Right, so he don't have one to pay?
Yes, he does.
I don't have an apology to anybody.
You apologize every other day.
Listen, it's not cute to come into a courtroom and downgrade a girl you willingly slept with. Because if it was just, really, I mean, let's really be honest. You all have a little bit too much cockiness, a little bit too much swagger, but you don't have nothing to back it up. And to sit up and downgrade their mother is trifling. Thankfully, this courtroom has some resources. I want you to sit down. I want you to talk through this. And I'm gonna check on you all. Because as I said before, there are certain cases where I walk off this bench saying to myself, Lord, help these kids. And I'm in this position right now. I want you all to get this thing together. Court is adjourned. Ms. Maddox, you are here to prove to the defendant that her son, Seiko Benton, who tragically died only 7 months ago, is the father of your 18-month-old son, Cairo.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim you need financial help and need to prove paternity so you can petition for survivors' benefits.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Benton, you and your daughter claim you knew nothing about the plaintiff or her child until she popped up after your son's death, claiming her 18-month-old son, Cairo, was fathered by your son. You both deny paternity and plan to prove it today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Maddox, tell me why you believe the defendant's son is Cairo's father.
Well, I'm 100% sure that he is the father. I know that for a fact because he's the only man that I slept with the time I conceived. And we did have sex unprotected. And it's unfortunate that he did pass and he's not here to tell, you know, his family about us. But I know for a fact that he is the father.
So you don't believe that, Ms.
No,
Benton?
ma'am, I have doubts. I would like a DNA for my son. I just lost my son 7 months ago. I need a DNA for my son.
Because you never heard anything about the baby.
The baby just popped up from nowhere. I haven't even met her yet.
What type of relationship were you having with Seiko?
I've known Seiko since high school. Okay, it wasn't like we had a personal friendship. We just had mutual friends.
Okay.
So we hung around some of the same people. He contacted me March of 2016, and he was just like, hey, what's up? I haven't seen you in a while. So I was like, okay, what's up with you? And he was saying, you know, he would like to come over and see me or whatever. I said, okay, that's fine. That was March the 3rd of 2016. He contacted me. He came over 3 days later, March 6th, 2016.
And how soon after that did you start a sexual relationship?
That day, March the 6th when he came over.
Oh!
No. That same day.
With no protection?
It started off with protection, but it did not end with protection.
Okay.
And I knew right then and there, when it was all and done, I was pregnant. I knew right then and there. I didn't waste no time. I called him the next day. And before I could tell him that I was pregnant, he told me I was pregnant.
Wait, what?
Yes, I said, Seiko, we need to talk about something. He said, you pregnant? I said, yes, I know that. I have 3 other kids, Your Honor, so I already know my body. I already know what's going on. It happened, he's the daddy.
And you can tell the day you got pregnant that you're pregnant?
I knew right then and there when he did it, when the whole thing.
You knew you were ovulating then?
I knew right then and there. Yes, I was pregnant.
I doubted my brother had unprotected sex when he had a girlfriend.
I mean, that's the least of my concern anyway.
We didn't know nothing about
if he did have a girlfriend, he would not have been at my house March 6, 2016.
Well, we didn't know nothing about it.
And so at that time, you knew your brother, your son, to be in a relationship with another woman?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you didn't know anything about Ms. Maddox?
No.
Ma'am.
Was this the only time you were intimate with Seiko?
That was the only time.
Just that one time?
Just that one time, and that's all it takes.
But you got pregnant by him that fast?
Yes, I did.
Were you dating anybody else during that
No,
time?
I was not. No, I was not.
And throughout your pregnancy, was he involved in the pregnancy?
No, he wasn't. Because at that point in my life, I was going through a lot of things. So I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep my baby or not. So I told him, you know, I'm not sure about this right now. You know, I'm gonna let you know. And then he was like, well, I'm gonna be with you. I'm gonna stand behind you with either decision that you make. So then I finally, you know, got myself together and I decided to keep my child. And when I reached out to him to let him know that, that's when it was like, oh, who is this? I don't know who you are. Who is this?
Oh, wait a minute. I want to understand that. So you told him, give you a minute to think about this,
give me
process
a minute, like
this,
the process,
and then when you reached back out to him.
So when I reached back out to him to let him know, oh, I had found out the gender and everything, and I said, hey, it's a boy. And he texted me like, oh, who is this? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Then all the inconsistencies started. I would call him, no answer. Then the phone number changed.
Because he had a girlfriend.
And Your Honor.
Yeah, I guess that's when he got
and
the
Your
girlfriend.
Honor, the first time that I seen the picture of baby was just born, I had never seen her. He said he might have a child. He didn't say it was his child. And that was the only thing I seen that child, that one picture.
My brother would have told me. He would have
And me
told
too, me and him close.
He came back like a couple of months later, you done had the baby, and show us a picture of an infant and tell me, do this baby look like me? And we were like, we don't know, we need a DNA. You need to tell her you need a DNA. Who is this girl? Oh, no, she ain't nothing. Don't worry about it. I'm just trying to make sure that's not my baby. And then after that,
he ain't talk about it no more.
But you've never heard anything about Ms. Maddox? You never met Cairo?
Because the thing about it with me, I'm not about to chase you. And you keep telling me what you want this, you need a DNA, you need a DNA, and then when
That's
I'm
why
telling
he would ask you for it.
And then when I tell you that I'm getting the DNA and you don't respond to me,
because
after
he felt like that was not his child.
after he asked me for the DNA and I told him I got the test, I'm getting the test,
but
and he didn't respond,
he felt
that
like
just tell me you didn't want to be there anyway.
He don't believe that's his child.
I wasn't about to chase him down to do for my son. He did say, if he's my son, I will do my part, and I know he would have did his part.
Yes.
I'm trying to meet you halfway, but you ain't meeting me back. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. And so within this year's time, he wasn't able to get the DNA with you and he didn't respond. Did he ever get to meet Cairo?
Yes, he did.
He did?
Yes, he did. When he came over and held my son, the look that he had in his eye when he was holding my son, it was just so much love. You know what I'm saying? When he was holding my baby, I could just tell he loved my baby. He knew that was his son. I know he would have been a great father to my son.
Because yes, he's a great father. You already have a son, and he's a very good father.
He's a great uncle to him. So I know he would have been in his life if we would have found out. But it's just the fact is, my brother did have doubt. Because like he said, she came in and out. And my brother didn't know who, like...
Just popped up.
He asked my grandmama, he asked my mama, he asked my sister, he asked all of us. And we all said the same thing. We need a DNA.
I remember him saying that.
And you went ahead and made arrangements to get the DNA test?
Yes, I did. I promised I did. I texted him. I seen, you know, you can see where the person seen the message when you message him and it says seen. He seen the message. Never replied back. I even reached out to his cousin and said, tell him to call me. He never called me. I never got a phone call. Never got a phone call.
And you never spoke to him again?
That was November the 7th of 2017. He died November 19th.
That's why we want a DNA. I want to know if this is my grandson. I just can't deal with this myself.
Because we also they had sent in the mail about my brother benefits. And we want to know if Cairo is our nephew, my nephew, because he's my nephew. I need to make sure that my nephew get all the benefits that he needs. They're a loving family.
And if
we
want him to have our last name.
And it's at the point, like, if he's my nephew, he's taking the place of my brother. And me not having my brother.
It's pretty hard.
Me losing my brother. It's like I lost my own child. So Cairo being my brother's son,
just like
it would be good. And if it is, we there for him. But like I said, my brother had doubt a little bit that he felt like he kept asking the family for advice.
He looked like me.
So
and I told him, Seiko, I don't know. You need to have a DNA, because I don't know by looking at the baby picture. Now I'm just now seeing this picture with him big. Right there like that now.
And when you look at this picture, do you see a resemblance?
A little. I do, a little.
He look just
But I want to know for sure.
we don't want to be claiming
I
a
miss
child.
my boy.
And
My
then
boy been gone just 7 months.
6 years later,
Yes.
we find out that's not our baby or something. And we've been raising you for 6 years. That's gonna be 6 years that was
We wasted.
from his real father and from us. So we want to know. At the end of the day, when we find out, and that's my brother's baby, that's a part of a gap that we are gonna be closing out.
And so the truth is, you really don't have a resentment towards Miss Maddox.
No, I don't have a problem with her because I never met her.
Yeah, I
This is
know.
the
We don't
most
know
we have.
her.
And she just came out of nowhere with a baby. Like she said, my cousin came with the baby, and
That's how I saw the baby.
that was our my
So
nephew.
you sent the baby with a family member?
Yes. Yes, I did.
So they could see the baby.
So they could see him because I wasn't ready. When I went to the candlelight and I seen the reason why I waited so long because
And I asked her that,
I
why
had to
she
let
didn't say
them
nothing.
grieve. I had to let them grieve. She just lost her son. It was just not the right time just to tell her she's hysterical, screaming. She just lost her son. I can't come to her, excuse me, ma'am, me and your son have a baby. It just wasn't the right time at all because I don't know how they was gonna take me. I didn't know that.
Exactly.
We still haven't agreed. It ain't been a year yet.
Yes.
And this would be a big grieving to us to know
That
If he's
that's my
ours.
grandson, I want
So
to know.
we want to know. We are 100% definitely need a DNA test.
And we
to
a big
find out.
family, and we close.
Ms. Maddox, you said in the court papers you need help.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Tell the court how it's been raising Cairo without any help from his father.
It's been very hard because considering that I have 3 other kids already, you know what I'm saying? It's very hard for me. I'm a young mother. I try to work as much as I can for all 4 of my kids. But my son deserves everything. He don't deserve to miss out on anything. So if I can get help, I need it. That's why I'm here. That and I want them to know.
I know he's just 18 months old, but do you talk to Cairo about his dad?
Yes, I do.
What do you tell him?
I tell him, I tell him, I say, I just wish your daddy was here right now because I know you'll be with him. I just know you'll be with him. You won't even be here with me. You will be here. You will be there with your dad. And I know that for a fact.
I did a DNA with her. Believe that.
Did you give Cairo his last name?
No, I didn't. I didn't. But when the test proves today that it is his son, I want to give him that last name.
And we would like
I want him to have that last name.
Yeah, we would
I
like
tried
to
to
have
get his name as close as Seiko as I could. So I named him Cairo. I wanted him to at least have the O and.
Got you.
I want him to know his family. These are his family. This is his grandma. This is his auntie. And I want him to know that.
And there's many more of us. It's a big family. We all want to know.
And Ms. Maddox, before I go to the results, I have to ask you, are you sure there are absolutely no other possible fathers?
I'm so sure. I'm so sure. I am so sure. I'm so sure. I can't be more sure.
And so when I asked Jerome for this envelope, we are not going to get a surprise.
No.
Please.
No. We're not
All
going
right.
to get a surprise.
Jerome, may I have the envelope, please?
Yes.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. Because there wasn't a blood card available to test the DNA of the deceased, Seiko Benton, we performed a DNA test with his surviving parent, Chandrell Benton. With that being said, the results determine if there is a viable relationship between the child, Cairo Maddox, and Chandrell Benton. In the case of Maddox versus Benton, when it comes to 18-month-old Cairo Maddox, it has been determined by this court the percentage of relatedness between Ms. Chandrell Benton and 18-month-old Cairo Maddox is 99.9%. You are related.
I just want you to know for sure.
Oh my God. Oh, excuse me. Seiko gonna be so happy to see this. Oh God. He looking down on us. To know that. Oh God, it is. Can I see it?
I was just about to say, I know you've only seen him one time.
Yeah, I want to see him.
I'd like to know, and if it's okay with you, Miss Maddox, would you like to see Cairo in my chambers?
Yes.
I know he would love that.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
I will meet you there. Court is adjourned. Well, family, we made it.
Yes.
I know it was a long, difficult hearing, but it's worth it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
To get the truth, to have the answers, for all the doubt to go away, and more importantly, to be able to start growing Cairo's village so he can have the love and the support from all of you, right?
Yes.
I'm so happy. I know Seiko is smiling and happy. You're gonna let
made
him
my
meet
day.
his family. Oh, here he comes. There you go. Hey, man. You gonna bring him over here?
Hey, look at Grandma.
Hey, man.
Look at Grandma.
Hi.